Okay, who are you?
I'm Alicia, aka MotoLady, and I run the women's motorcycle show.
My life could ain't no limit. Put it in, put my soul, put my heart in there.
Okay, Alicia, I want you to talk me through this Ducati.
What do I do with my hand?
Yeah.
I got this crushed on both sides. Every single surface was completely effed, and that's actually the reason I ended up rebuilding it, because, well, if you're gonna spend the money to replace it with stock, why not just spend a little bit more money and upgrade it, right? My favorite part and favorite mod is probably the 748 916 front end. Not at all stock to the Ducati Monster.
Okay.
This is a 98 Ducati Monster 750.
Okay.
1998. It was not the first gen Monster. I think technically it was the second gen Monster. This one has a wet clutch, which,
Let's
you know, maybe
show me the wet clutch. Oh, fucking home.
From my crash. So I crashed.
No, that's from leaning the back too far.
So obviously. So I had this for a couple years, and then I was riding it on a Southern California freeway about 55 miles an hour, and a big spare tire bracket shot off of a car and into my front mags, and I went down, like, basically the bars went, and then whack, whack, and I went flying off, slammed into the ground right side. It kissed my exhaust right here, just this like dime-sized
Just right
scrape.
there.
Right
Oh,
there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It kissed a little bit down here, which I actually cut out and replaced. This ground down to about there, and the original Speedy Moto frame slider ground down to about here. So that was how close I was to destroying all of my beautiful paint. But it didn't. It didn't mess up the frame. Didn't mess up anything. So I replaced all those bits. There's also more damage still living right here, because this is kind of my little reminder. You know, it still works great, but I reshaped it and then painted it with a paint pen because I'm ghetto fabulous.
Yeah, 100%.
And now she lives.
I see some Rizoma stuff on the
Yes.
top side. Let's talk about how much we love Rizoma.
But it's very simple, it's very small, it's very sleek, it's very classic.
Yes.
And that's why it's perfect for my little classic modern. Brembo brakes, Brembo clutch perches, and then technically that front wheel is actually a different front wheel than this, because this is from the Superbike.
Oh, right.
But they almost perfectly match. So one of these is a Cagiva era Ducati Monster wheel, and then the other is the stock 748 wheel that I then obviously painted with rainbow metal flake. And then there's prism flake in this too, which is kind of hard to see, but when the sun hits it, she's a horse of a different color. Yeah, it took 3 total years to build because I had a lot of help, and in the beginning of this, I did not know anything about Ducatis or anything about building motorcycles. Fair. But like I said, it was crashed on both sides, so why not learn as I go? And then now that's what led to Women's Motorcycle Show, so it all comes full circle, and it's perfect.
So tell us about Women's Motorcycle Show. What's that about?
Women's Moto Show was founded 8 years ago in Los Angeles, California.
By?
Myself.
I'm talking to the original.
The OG.
Epic. Okay.
Women's Moto Show basically was founded to give women a platform to show off all of the cool stuff that they do, because I don't even like to use the word marginalized, but a lot of times women don't feel comfortable going into an event or a space showing their bike because it's not, in their opinion, up to the same level as some others. But being in the industry and seeing all the bikes at different shows, I know that's not true.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to basically show them, no, it's possible. You should be here. You should have this bike here. You can absolutely learn to build if you don't already. There is a bike for you. And if you don't like any of the stock ones, then find one that you like and then customize it for you. You know, maybe you're shorter, maybe you just like something lighter. I cut like 40 pounds off of this beast for that same reason. And
what did you cut?
I chopped the entire tail off of it, so there's like 10 inches probably that it was about to here, and then all of the extra accoutrement, right, came off the end too. The original exhaust was very, very heavy. I chopped off a bunch of the actual tabs on the frame.
Did you weld? That's your weld?
These are not, I wish. This guy, this is my weld, and it's pretty bad, but it works.
You know what? I don't know how to weld, so you're ahead of me.
Miss Jessi Combs actually showed me how to do that.
Rest in peace.
Yep. R.I.P. Jessi. Jessi Combs was a huge part of Women's Motorcycle Show as well, because in 2016, the first year, she brought the Real Deal Revolution workshops down. And that actually allowed us to have pinstriping, welding, and leathercraft demos. And that's another big feature of Women's Moto Show, is the hands-on workshops that are, they're by donation. So if you can't afford anything, you can still try it out. And you get a first-hand attempt at things like pinstriping.
Amazing.
And see if you like it, if you're good at it. And you know what? If you're not good at it and you don't like it, you suddenly realize why it's worth paying someone else to do a really good job on it.
Perfect.
And then I have a Honda Rebel that I like to beat the crap out of, because this one I don't even like to leave out of my sight for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, wait. Talk to us about how do you ride this and then a Honda Rebel?
Okay, first of all, versatility is one of the most important parts of life.
Okay, go on. Go on.
Second of all, if it has 2 wheels and an engine or a motor, I'll try riding it.
Who did you exhaust?
My friend in Little Horse Customs is the name, Andrew Cornelison. He's
Little
very
Horse
talented.
Customs.
I definitely, absolutely could not pull this off.
No, I'm actually legitimately, I'm curious who did your paint.
Yeah, his name's Jeff Harrington, and he's like an old hot rod dude, everything else. I would have loved to do it myself, but when I first got this thing, I knew nothing about building motorcycles, painting motorcycles, how to weld, how to wire, anything. And I learned all of it as I went. And the tank had been completely wrecked. It crashed on both sides, and there was like the classic Ducati monster dents here, but then the previous owner also took it personally that he crashed again. He crashed twice and took a hammer to it. And so it had hammer dents all down this.
Yeah.
And Jeff, like one of my best friends, he historically was a body man. So he was like, just send it to me, I'll fix it. And so I sent it to him all the way on the East Coast. He had it for far too long, because creative people. But I told him I just wanted it to be off-white, like ivory, with a black racing stripe. And then he sent it back with all of the prism flake, and I almost had a heart attack. I was just like, oh my God, my heart.
Here's why I ask, because it's that paint where you kind of take it for granted at first glance.
Yeah.
And the more you look at it and the closer you get, the more you appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
So
I feel the same way.
I saw this bike earlier in the
sun,
sunlight.
yeah.
But seeing it now as the sun is setting, like it's magic hour right now, and now it's popping completely different.
Right.
Because these are 2 different tones right now.
Yep.
And the way these tones, like depending on the angle, the way these tones kind of blend into one another, I think, and at first I saw your fender and I was like, okay, well, where's the payoff on the bike? Because earlier I thought this was just a regular stripe because I was thrown by the pinstriping. I was just seeing the pinstriping.
Yeah, the longer you look,
And then I
the more you
realized
see.
the payoff is actually here. And I don't know if you can tell, but every angle on this, it's a different color depending on your angle.
Try to walk around.
So it's basically what we would call like a chameleon paint, because it changes angle in your light, or changes color in the light and changes color in the angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're prism flakes, right? And so they're little like hexagonal shaped pieces of glass. Yeah, and I guess he had like the tiniest bit left from a fancy paint job he did, and he gave it to me. I feel very fortunate.
And did he also do the pinstriping?
No, Jeff Wolf, who is actually local to here, he did the pinstriping. And then the gold leaf on this was done by someone else, Chris Dunlop, who is actually like a big deal painter in Southern California now.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
sure.
Chris Dunlop. Pinstripe Chris is what he goes by. But this was done by Jeff Wolf. The gold leaf is done by Pinstripe Chris.
My
Jessi Combs
goodness.
touched this. I have had a lot of really, really great help in building this. What's cool too, I wish that I had the sketch to show you, but when I first got this thing, like crashed and effed up and everything, I sketched it out. And after, I went, I actually kind of nailed it.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was very close to the original sketch.
So this bike has been touched by legends.
Yes, it has.
Oh,
and I'm very
well done.
proud to own it.
And I bet you it's loud as fuck.
It is loud as fuck.
I can hear it by looking at it.
Last year I fired it up and
Piston down there, I think.
I felt like a dick. These are Cone Engineering megaphones, so
I have a similar one on my BMW.
with very little baffling.
LAF. Loud pipes save lives, everybody. Loud pipes
You know
save
what I
lives.
love them for is like passive aggressive when I go by people that didn't see me. I don't honk at them because they don't hear it and they don't care. I just
No.
go, wow, and
Yeah.
they're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, listen, we were talking about this last night. When somebody rolls up and hits that throttle and you know it's not necessary,
Right,
it's not to be obnoxious, it's
Right.
not to be a dick, it's just pride in your ride.
right.
That's all that is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're sitting in the light, you're like, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
I used to do that, but it was because I had a really, really poorly tuned motorcycle that if you didn't, it would die.
I've never had one of those because we build perfect motorcycles in our shop.
Actually, what is the shop?
Harbinger Customs, Squamish BC. What a pleasure. Really nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. What was your name?
Ryan.
Ryan. Alicia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Alicia.
I think I would tell the world that women in motorcycling is growing faster than you could ever imagine.
Yes.
We're the fastest growing demographic. So make sure you keep an eye out for motorcyclists and all the ladies.
All the single ladies.
And all the single ladies, if you're into that.
Hugs.
Hugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
You never told me your name, though.
Okay. My name is Gareth. We'll do it on camera. My name is Gareth.
Nice to meet you, Gareth.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thanks for asking me poignant questions.
I love it.
Hey all, thanks so much for watching once again. Next time on The Throttle Therapist, which is my new handle if you're confused by the between two bikes thing. I have changed aesthetic and it's in a slow process. But anyways, this is The Throttle Therapist. I am The Throttle Therapist. And in our next video, I'm going to be looking at Harbinger Customs, their Triumph that they made for the One Moto show. Well, they didn't make it for the show, but they showed it in the show and they spoke to me about their build and how they did it. Apologies for the audio at times in this clip. I am just learning to use these DJI mics, so they were a little bit hot, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little bit hot on the next one too, but I shot it and it's cool, and I'm going to try my best with what I have. So rad, if you could like, subscribe, comment, whatever helps the algorithm reach viewers, that would be awesome. It's really motivating to know that people watch this stuff after I spend hours doing it. So thank you if you do. Cheers. Bye.